You know, in the hotel world, every single transaction tells a part of a larger story. We're talking everything from a guest buying a single cup of coffee to a corporation booking a massive event. But what's crazy is that for decades, hotels have only been able to read a tiny, tiny fraction of that story. And that's left them dangerously exposed. Today, we're going to explore how that is all changing and fast. Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and I've spent my career right at the intersection of modern hospitality operations and performance support. So I'm especially pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey with us. We really look forward to supporting your professional growth in this amazing industry. And today, we're diving into a revolution that's happening right now, behind the scenes, one that's totally redefining financial security in hotels. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to look at the high-stakes gamble of the traditional audit. Then, I'll introduce you to the AI that's changing the game. After that, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of how it all works. And finally, we'll see how this technology completely shifts the role of a finance team, from being seen as police to becoming true partners. Okay, so let's start with the big question. What was so wrong with the old way of doing things? Well, for decades, hotel finance has basically been stuck playing a really dangerous game of chance. The core issue has always been just the sheer volume of transactions. I mean, a busy hotel is processing everything, right? You've got a $3 coffee, a $100 room service bill, a $50,000 corporate banquet. It's a flood of data. It was literally impossible for a human auditor to check every single entry, and this created what we call the needle in a haystack problem. So, to deal with this massive haystack, what did auditors do? They took a huge shortcut. They would check a random sample of just 5 to 10% of a hotel's financial data. Just let that sink in for a moment. That means 90 or even 95% of all financial activity was left completely unchecked. It all just came down to pure luck. And that was an enormous gamble. This sampling method left hotels incredibly vulnerable. You could have sophisticated embezzlement schemes just flying right under the radar. Or it could be simple, recurring accounting mistakes, human error, that over time would add up to become huge financial losses. And this brings us to a foundational principle, something that's absolutely crucial for every single one of you to understand. In financial oversight, near enough is never, ever good enough. Believing you're 95% okay is just another way of saying you're accepting a 5% chance of total disaster. All right, so if that old method of random sampling is the problem, then what's the solution? This is where we get to a genuine paradigm shift in how we approach financial oversight in our industry. The solution is a platform called MindBridge AI. Now, it uses what's known as ensemble AI. Think of it like this. Instead of one AI trying to figure everything out, you have a whole team of different AI models working together, each with its own specialty. And together, they transform the audit from a random guess into a comprehensive, top-to-bottom financial scan. And this right here is the absolute game changer. We are moving from a world where we could only see a tiny sliver of the picture, that 5 to 10%, to a world where we see everything, 100%. Every single transaction is analyzed, leaving absolutely no place for errors or fraud to hide. So I know what you're thinking. How does this actually work? How can an AI possibly look at every single transaction and make sense of it all without getting overwhelmed? Well, the process is actually incredibly elegant and powerful. First, the system ingests 100% of the hotel's financial data right from the general ledger. Then it applies a whole battery of complex algorithms to analyze every entry against dozens of risk factors. Step 3, it gives every single transaction a unique risk score. And finally, and this is the key, it flags the handful of highest risk entries and tells the human auditor, hey, forget the haystack, look right here. Let me give you a really concrete example. Imagine this. A manual journal entry gets made late on a Sunday night, maybe at 11 p.m. The amount is for, say, $4,999.99. It ends in .99, and it's conveniently just 1 cent below the $5,000 threshold that requires a senior manager's approval. Now, a human auditor might completely miss that, but the AI, it flags it instantly as a high-risk anomaly. But, and this is a really important point, a flag from the AI doesn't automatically mean there's fraud. The goal here is actually more subtle and way more powerful. It's about empowering the financial controller to ask the right questions about the right transactions at precisely the right time. So, this new capability does so much more than just catch errors. It actually leads to a fundamental shift in the entire role of the finance team within the hotel's ecosystem. See, in the past, the internal audit department was often seen as this reactive policing unit. The people who show up after something's gone wrong to find out who's to blame. With AI, that role gets completely transformed. They become a proactive risk management partner, working alongside the operations team to ensure financial health and integrity from day one. And the benefits here go so far beyond just fraud detection. The AI can spot trends in human error, like a specific controller who consistently miscodes a certain type of invoice. This lets the hotel fix the process, clean its data, and make sure its financial statements are a perfect reflection of reality. And what does all that do? It gives the hotel owners what they want more than anything else: ultimate peace of mind. This technology is changing the entire standard of financial oversight. We're moving from mostly accurate to provably perfect. So the real question I want to leave you with as a future leader in this industry is this: how are you going to leverage technology like this to ensure not just partial but total financial integrity in your operation?